Namaste everyone and welcome back to LiveStronger. First off, I would like to apologize for the long waits in between the video uploads. I was out on a work trip so could not upload my recordings on a regular basis. I hope to be more consistent and regular going forward because the work trip is done. Now, today we are going to start off with our dynamic stretching. We are going to exercise our back with a little bit of sprinkling of core and calf muscles. Calf muscle workout is absolutely a choice. I do that to improve the muscle mass of my calves, but it's up to you. If you already have great calf muscles, you may very well skip it. But if you're someone like me who have smaller calf muscles and want to improve on them, I would suggest working on them regularly like I do. I have also added a exercise in my dynamic stretching routine, which is part of Dr. Stott McGill's exercise. That is the bird dog pose, basically helping me prime pretty well for the weightlifting session. Again, it's a choice. If you want, you can also go forward and do this. I hold each pose. I do it at least 5 times each side and hold them for at least 5 to 10 seconds, just priming up my core, getting ready for the weightlifting session. So I start building a stronger core, have lesser problems in my back. Just a precautionary thing. We're going to end our dynamic stretching as usual with a deep squat. Sit there for a few seconds, making sure our hips have great mobility and are well stretched before we begin. Remember, these are all not static stretches. They are all dynamic stretches. So you don't hold them for a long period of time. Just 5 seconds is pretty much enough. Now for the first exercise, I started off with T-bar rows, 4 sets, 15 repetitions with a minute break in between, basically the rest in between the sets. Now before we begin the exercise, of course, I always suggest to do at least a couple of warm-up sets wherein you do 10 to 15 repetitions on a lighter weight, and then you can start off with your working sets. Your working set should be 4. Now as you can see, once in position, in the eccentric motion, I go as slow as possible, take a small pause in the bottommost end, full range of motion, and from there, pull it as explosively, as strongly as possible towards my chest, keeping my back in a neutral position, chest up. I also use straps to put less effort on my grip strength, basically not letting my grip strength, make my reps less. Because if your grip strength starts losing out before your back strength, you might give up on your reps. But using straps or any kind of grip helping, there are other grips also. You can also use gloves, but there are multiple ways you can improve on your grip strength, at least, or not let your grip strength compromise your repetitions. Make sure you go through the full range of motion. It's not a very difficult exercise to perform. Of course, if you have a T-bar row equipment set up in your gym, please go ahead and use that. Otherwise, this is how I do them. Now, once done with those, I immediately jump onto the leg press machine to do some calf raises, 3 sets, as many repetitions as possible each set, with 45 to 60 seconds of break in between. Now, you need not take a long break in between or any break in between, as long as your breath is under control. We are working on a different muscle altogether, so you can straight away jump onto the leg press machine and start getting your reps out on the calf press or calf raises. You may also prefer to do seated calf raises or standing calf raises in a different way. This is an easier setup for me, and I also have a little bit more control, so I prefer to do it here. This is the advantage of, or this is how I save time by doing multiple exercises but keeping the time period as short as possible. So as soon as I was done with my calf, I immediately jumped on to my core workout and started off with a little bit of isolation work. Technically not so much of an isolation, but because I'm using the Bosu ball under my forearms, creating a little bit of instability in my plank and holding the plank for a minute minimum. If you can go ahead and hold it longer, or if you're not able to hold it for even a minute, hold it 20 seconds at a time, 30 seconds at a time, do it a couple of times or 3 times. It's basically again trying to learn how to use your glutes and your lower back and your abdominal muscles to keep your entire core as straight or as neutral as possible. Learning how to use those muscles to keep yourself in a better posture. This might be demanding enough for most if you're doing for the first time. If you have a pot belly, this would be extremely difficult. So I would recommend to skip this. If not, if you can perform this for even 20 seconds, do it multiple times till you build up at least to a minute time. Now, post completing the plank, I immediately switched on to ab roller. Now, ab roller again requires a little bit of practice. It's particularly not very easy. It's not a challenging workout also. If you have done it a couple of times and learned how to control your body and stabilize yourself well, you can do it pretty easily. So 10 to 12 repetitions, maybe 8 to 10 repetitions is also fine. The key is to go as slow as possible, control the rolling forward, the stretching portion of your core, and also not to use your hips. The crunching should happen at your abdominal region. As you come back, your hips should stop at a particular point and your core should start rolling inwards. And as you move forward, your core should start opening up and go as slow as possible, as far away as possible, and come back again. If you can't do them, you can also choose to do regular crunches, decline, flat crunches. That is absolutely fine. Once done with that, I immediately went on to do the lat pull downs. Both my core workouts are not cardiovascularly challenging, so I was not out of breath. So I could immediately switch on to the lat pull down. Just the setting up the equipment was the only part which took me time. So no time wasted there. 3 sets, 20 repetitions, full range of motion, controlled repetitions, leading with my elbows. Here I have Mac grips available in my gym, so I'm using them to get a little bit of less stress on my forearms in terms of grip, because otherwise while doing lat pull downs I feel a lot of forearm tiredness. They get tired pretty quickly before my back does. Mac grips helps me to keep it as low as possible. Now weight, choose a weight wherein you can get to those 20 repetitions. For me, I am slowly trying to get, or I am actually getting a little bit stronger day by day. So a full rack is also achievable in terms of 20 repetitions. But for you, choose the weight which you can do 20 repetitions, but it should be challenging. Just don't, I would say, half-ass it. Make sure the weight is enough. Post these, we move on to the last exercise bit, which is pull-ups and reverse shrugs in a superset method. So basically you do slow and steady pull-ups at a neutral grip, go as high up as possible, and once you're tired with your pull-ups, you immediately switch on to the reverse shrugs, and then you can finish off with a straight vertical hang to stretch out your lat muscles. And that's it, we're done for the day. The workout was pretty simple, short, not much time consuming. I hope you did like this new workout routine which I am building up to. If you did, please do drop a like. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video. I would definitely keep up more regular uploads. Consistency. See you.